Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to attempt to walk you through some of the changes that have happened in here over the last couple of days. Bring you up to date with where things are at and what's going on, and so you can fill in the blanks. I've been putting up some short videos and one longer video of what looks to be, I imagine down the end of the your phone or your PC, to be another sound system in here. Well, that's kind of correct. I've been working on a project for a friend of mine, an LX521 Linkwitz speaker build. So I've built the cabinets and wired all the drivers up and what have you, and getting through some teething problems and some bugs with this system, which are now all ironed out as of Saturday. So I'll talk you through what's in here at the moment, and then we'll probably play some more clips over the next few days, and then I'll go into more detail about the system and about what's in here at a later date. So the Robinson cable review is kind of on hold at the moment. I've had to pivot away from my system and get some burn-in hours on these drivers. This system's obviously, all the drivers in the Linkwitz system are all brand new, so about 20 hours in now, I think, on these drivers, and there's been some really substantial changes between sort of hour one and where we are now, and all for the better. I mean, obviously the system's parked up right sort of in front of my Wilsons, and that's not ideal. And the party tricks that these speakers do when they have some room to breathe, I'm certainly seeing it, I'm hearing it, but I know it'll be a lot better, and I'll explain where they're going and what's happening with the system, you know, in later videos. But I'll spin the camera around and I'll walk you through the system and the signal path and what's happening in here. So let me do that. Okay, so obviously here is the LX521s. Now, I've done a few modifications to these just to make them, I guess, from my point of view, look a little bit better and tidy them up. So what I've done down here is I've fabricated an aluminium bracket and painted it a similar color to this anthracite veneer that are on these on this speaker cabinetry. Now this is all HDF with an anthracite, rather a generous veneer that's over the top. So I've done my best to match it as best I can, with some satin black on an aluminium C channel that I cut some of the material out of the bridge of the speaker cabinet and mounted that in there. I've put some binding posts on there, and there are the speaker wires that come out of the back. So also what I've done is around this side, we can see I've just tidied all the wiring up, minimized all the hidden wiring that comes in this Linkwitz LX 521.4 kit. So just tidying all the wiring up behind the upper mid driver and then further down on the lower mid driver, and that sort of gives you a, you can see from there, gives you a pretty undisturbed back wave from the open baffle drivers. So that's probably enough said about the actual speaker system. I'll go into more detail about it and talk to you more about the way these drivers are evolving as time goes on. But anyway, in relation to this setup, if you're not aware, there are 4 channels of amplification that need to happen for this system to work. So you've got the forward firing tweeter, upper mid-range and lower mid-range. These are the upgraded drivers. This is the magnesium lower mid-range driver and the upgraded tweeter in this system. So it is as good as Linkwitz know how to build a setup at the moment. So you've got all of these forward firing 3 in the top array here, and then the forward facing bass driver in the rear bass cabinet. They all are in phase, and the rear facing driver and the tweeter that's in the rear of this system back there, I hope I can focus in on it, there it is, they are 180 degrees out of phase, so they need to be wired accordingly so that everything talks to one another and there's no cancellation of the upper and lower frequencies. So anyway, we go to the wiring on the bridge here, which is all internally routed, and it runs down the bridge section, which is this section here. And the way I've wired it is that at the rear, the rear binding posts are the tweeter. The center binding posts are the upper mid-range, and the front binding posts there is the lower mid-range. And then this is going to be difficult to see, but down there are the bass speakers, and so they come out of another set of wiring. So there's two sets of 4-core wires here. They run around to, and I suppose we need to talk about these amplifiers a bit more. These amplifiers are a one-off build that John DeCensi of OAD Ultra Fidelity produced. Now, he produced these specifically and only for himself because he actually had a set of these LX521s, and so he built these 4-channel monoblock amplifiers that are 200 watts per channel into high bias Class A. So they're an AB amplifier. I think the first 15 watts of these is Class A. And I just find this a far superior amplification mode than the D-class amplification that Linkwitz can provide. So it does come with its hassles though, unfortunately, and that's some of the issues that we've had, not with the amplifiers, but just with the way we've had to wire everything up. So in the back of this amplifier, you can obviously see it's completely balanced. So you've got 2 channels there that you can see with those black XLR cables, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of speaker outputs, and the other 2 channel inputs are there. So 4 separate channels, 4 actually separate amplifiers in that box, and that runs along, and this really is going to be difficult to do, I think, into the back of, let me come around the front first, into the back of this. This is the Linkwitz ASP, which is their active crossover. So in behind the back of that, which is going to be difficult to see, 4 channels per side, or 4 signal paths per side of a stereo setup. So you've got obviously the inputs of this come from the output of the preamp, which is, it's going to be difficult for me to do this, I think, but let's do it from the front. So this is John DeCensi from OAD's current preamplifier, the Padma, which the fellow that owns this system, a good friend of mine, Paul, has purchased from John. And so the signal path essentially goes, let's start from the start. So we've got obviously the Lumen T2. So we're not using the DAC in this at this point, although it is an option, it can be done. We're just coming from the ether region switch and the S-booster power supply, which is now back in my system. So we're coming via a cat cable out of that into the T2. Then we're coming out of the T2 streamer with a USB cable. That then runs down to the Holo Audio May KTE DAC that is being purchased by Paul for his system. And then obviously the digital to analog conversion happens there, and then we go analog out of that back up to the Padma. All of this is balanced all the way through with XLR cables. And then the output of the Padma goes up to the Linkwitz active crossover. It's then divided into its 4 separate frequencies. which is tweeter, upper mid-range, lower mid-range, and bass configuration. All of the secret sauce that Linkwits do is in there. And then it has its outputs, which are, again, all separate. And they go over to the amplifier. The amplifier amplifies the 4 signals, and then outputs those through those speaker binding posts that come over, still all separated into the back of this speaker system. So it's rather complex the way it works, but when it does work, it is pretty good. So that's the sort of signal path and the setup that I'm listening to at the moment, and you're listening to at the moment. So I'll have more to say about how these speakers are evolving. I need to get a couple of 100 hours on them all up before all of this system is packed up and sent up to where Paul lives, which is in northern New South Wales. I'll then fly up to his location and unpack all of this, set it all up and voice it in his room. Now, his room is substantially bigger than mine, and that's when we really will see what these speakers can do. But the main purpose at the moment, and what you're listening to at the moment, is just the evolution of the speaker drivers as they burn in. And there's already some really lovely improvements between hour 0 and hour 20. So we'll keep going with that. Obviously, the Robinson speaker cable review is on hold at the moment, but I will get back to it, and I promise you I'm nearly wrapped up with what I want to say about those cables, and so that will be coming soon. But in the meantime, please enjoy the Linkwits setup, and you will like and subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate that. Really happy for all of your support. Love hearing from you. So if you've got any comments, please leave them in the description below. And until I next see you, it's bye for now.